Hello everyone, Jay Todd here. I've caught up with Leslie Lohse of the California Tribal Business Alliance. Indian affairs in the United States, when it comes to tribal gaming, have always fascinated me because I don't think they get enough press coverage. It's a complicated issue, especially when it comes to internet gaming, state by state. These are sovereign nations that have rights to gaming, and the media doesn't cover a lot of what is important to them. And you talk about what happens with the government on Capitol Hill, and they're not talking a lot about the considerations with tribal gaming. And they're going to have to, because the laws are such that these are our sovereign nations we're talking about. Ms. Lohse, thank you so much for joining me. What's the most important thing out there that players watching might not know or understand when it comes to internet gambling and tribal relations?
I think the key matter that they need to consider is the history and the government-to-government relationship that we actually had with the federal government. Many people think that it's we're a special interest group set aside with some rights that no one else gets to have for some odd reason. But unfortunately, history, if it was studied properly and look at the documents that recognize, not give us, but recognize us as sovereign tribal nations, I think they would start to look at it from a different premise and perhaps then understand why legislators need to consider any legislation that impacts our ability to do gaming. There's the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. We do have compacts, all of those things, and so it is incumbent upon them to consider that, and we would like others to read and understand and see that we're not just an offshoot group of minorities out there, but that we are sovereign nations that were recognized and not given our sovereignty, but recognized.
Exactly. You know, especially in California, it's complicated because I know that state law there gives the tribal gaming rights, or the tribal gaming interest, all rights to electronic gaming in the state. This creates an interesting problem with internet gambling because in the past, say a game of craps played with dice or roulette played on a wheel, it can now be played electronically over the internet. Does this cause sort of a difficult situation, and how murky is this?
Oh, absolutely. It causes a lot of ill feelings, so to speak, because the problem is that we have compacts, as you said, and it's under the California Constitution that tribal governments are the ones that can do the electronic gaming. And so when the state is considering expanding electronic gaming into areas that might be a breach to our compact, that could cause a lot of consternation and ill feelings and some lawsuits perhaps, because at this point, until we really define what they're going to put out there, does it impact or breach our compacts as California constitutional law states it? There might be a loss to the state of over $365 million because the tribes are not going to continue to pay for something that they no longer have the exclusivity as our compacts state clearly.
All right, and California is not really in a position to be giving away money right now. So it's a very complicated issue. There's a lot at stake here. Where can people go if they'd like more information or to contact you guys to learn about this more?
Oh, thank you for asking that. It's www.caltba.org, and we have a lot of our press releases, our guiding principles that we would like to see that are incorporated into any legislation, and you'll learn a little bit more about what we do with our tribal gaming revenues. So
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lohse. I appreciate you coming on for us.